Hello and welcome to our channel. Today, I'll be showing you how to save some serious bucks by living sparingly. I will break it down into 7 major steps with some great tips for you in each step. Let's get going. Step 1. Create a budget and track expenses. I wanted to chat with you about something that's been really helpful for me on my life's financial journey, creating a budget and keeping track of expenses. It might sound a bit serious, but trust me, it's a game changer. Budget tip number 1. Getting friendly with budgets. Creating a budget is like giving your money a plan. You know, how we plan out our weekends or vacations? It's like that, but for your finances. You figure out how much money you have coming in and where it's going out. This helps you make sure you're not overspending in any area and helps you reach your money goals faster. Budget tip number 2. Where's your money going? Tracking your expenses is like having a friendly spy on your spending habits. It's actually quite cool. You jot down every little expense, whether it's big like rent or small like your morning coffee. This way, you can see if your actual spending matches what you planned in your budget. It's like a reality check for your finances. Budget tip number 3. Finding money you didn't know you had. The cool thing about tracking expenses is that you start seeing patterns. You might realize you're spending more on something than you thought. You can spot areas where you could save without sacrificing the stuff you enjoy. It's like finding hidden treasures in your budget. Step 2. Reducing monthly bills through energy efficiency. Next, I'll talk about a cool idea with you that I've been exploring lately: how to lower your monthly bills while also doing something good for the environment. Energy tip number 1. Smart moves for lower bills. You know how we're always looking for ways to cut costs? Well, here's a smart trick: energy efficiency. It's all about using energy-saving strategies that not only save us money, but also help our planet breathe a little easier. Energy tip number 2. The appliance upgrade magic. I found this awesome way to cut down on your utility bills, and that is energy-efficient appliances. But of course, the payback time could be years, so only think about upgrading if they are old and you need new ones anyway. Also, be sure to check for discounts and rebates for switching to any energy-efficient appliance. If you swap out your old appliances for these new efficient ones, you can actually see a drop in your monthly bills. It's like getting a bonus just for being smarter about your choices. Energy tip number 3. Homes that hug you back. Did you know that proper home insulation can save us some serious cash too? It's like giving our home a cozy blanket that keeps the temperature steady. So, we don't have to crank up the heat or air conditioning as much. That means more money in our pockets over the year. Energy tip number 4. Little habits, big savings. The coolest part is that small changes can also make a difference. Turning off lights when we're not using them, unplugging gadgets that are just hanging out, and letting natural light brighten up our space, these simple habits can also chip away at our bills. It's like we're saving money while creating a comfy, eco-friendly home. Step 3. Cutting down on food expenses without sacrificing nutrition. Next up is food, something we all love. Food tip number 1. Meal planning magic. One thing that's been a game changer for me is meal planning. It might sound a bit fancy, but it's really just about sitting down and thinking about what you'll eat for the week. When you plan ahead, you create a shopping list based on what you need, and that means fewer impulse buys at the store. Food tip number 2. Smart shopping moves. Speaking of shopping, I've been comparing prices and using coupons or discounts whenever I can. Also, I've started looking at store brands and generic products. They're often just as good and cost less. Oh, and buying stuff in bulk, especially non-perishable items, has saved me some serious cash over time. Food tip number 3. Cooking up savings at home. Cooking at home has been a big money saver for me. Not only is it wallet-friendly, but it also gives you control over what you're putting into your mouth. Instead of relying on takeout or prepackaged stuff, Cooking from scratch has saved me money and made me healthier too. Food tip number 4, waste not, want not. You might have heard your mom say this when growing up. Did you know that a lot of money goes down the drain because of food waste? It surprised me too. I've been working on avoiding that by getting creative with leftovers and repurposing ingredients. It's like a little challenge to see how many tasty dishes I can create from what's left in the fridge. Step 4. Avoiding impulse buying and practicing mindful spending habits. Now we'll discuss some spending habits. You know that feeling when you see something cool and you just want to buy it on the spot? I totally get it, we all do. Spending tip number 1. Mindful spending for the win. In a world where shopping seems to be everywhere and everything, practicing mindful spending is like having a secret superpower. It's all about being aware of what we're buying and asking ourselves if it really lines up with our goals and values. Before hitting that buy button, taking a moment to think if we really need it is powerful. Spending tip number 2, take a breather before you buy. You won't believe how powerful a little pause can be. When the urge to splurge strikes, I've been giving myself a timeout, a sort of cool-down period. It's like taking a step back and asking, do I really need this right now? Most of the time, the answer surprises me. Spending tip number 3, shopping smarts. You know what's awesome? Finding smart ways to shop. Comparing prices, reading reviews, and keeping an eye out for deals are like secret weapons against impulse buying. These tricks help us make sure we're getting the best bang for our buck while avoiding stuff we don't actually need. Spending tip number 4, budget love. Creating a budget might sound a bit formal, but trust me, it's like having a financial GPS. It sets limits on how much we spend in different areas, making sure we cover the stuff that's truly important. Sticking to a budget can be an addictive challenge that keeps those impulse buys in check. Step 5. Saving money on transportation costs through alternative methods. Next, I'll give you some cool ideas on transportation. Transportation tip number 1. Going green and saving green. Guess what? Finding different ways to get around can actually save us some cash and do some good for the planet too. It's like a win-win situation. You know how we're always looking for ways to be a bit eco-friendlier? Well, this is like solving 2 problems at one time. Transportation tip number 2, pedal power and strolls. You won't believe how awesome cycling and walking can be. Not only do they give us a chance to enjoy the outdoors, but they also save us money on transportation. It's like turning our daily commute into a little adventure. Plus, there's the bonus of a healthier lifestyle. A double win. Transportation tip number 3, public transportation perks. Have you thought about using public transportation more? I've been exploring it, and it's actually pretty great. They offer all sorts of deals like discounted fares, monthly passes, and even annual memberships. It's like getting more bang for our buck while avoiding the hassle of driving in traffic. Transportation tip number 4, team up for savings. Carpooling and ride-sharing have been on my radar too. Imagine sharing rides with friends, colleagues, or neighbors who are going the same way. It's like splitting the costs and making the journey a bit more social. Plus, it eases up on traffic, which is a win for everyone on the road. Step 6. Finding affordable entertainment options for leisure time. Next on the list is how we all can have a great time without spending a fortune. Entertainment tip number 1. Fun without breaking the bank. You know how life can get so busy? Well, taking some time for ourselves and having fun is super important. And guess what? We can totally do it without emptying our wallets. It's like finding little pockets of joy without the stress of overspending. Entertainment tip number 2. Outdoor adventures on a budget. Have you ever thought about exploring the outdoors for some low-cost entertainment? I've discovered that local parks are like hidden gems. They've got walking trails, places to picnic, and even playgrounds for the little ones. It's a chance to breathe in nature, get moving, and hang out with loved ones without spending a dime. Entertainment tip number 3, museum magic for less. Did you know that museums can be budget-friendly too? Many of them offer discounted tickets or even free days where you can soak in the beauty of art, history, or science without worrying about the cost. I've been looking into it, and it's like stepping into a world of knowledge and creativity without stressing over the bill. Entertainment tip number 4, the library, not just books. Guess what? Libraries are more than just books. They're like treasure chests of free goodies waiting to be sampled. There are events like book clubs, movie nights, and workshops for all kinds of interests. Plus, they've got online platforms with free ebooks, audiobooks, music, and even courses. It's like having a world of entertainment at our fingertips without spending a penny. Step 7. Incorporating do-it-yourself projects to save money on home maintenance and repairs. Finally, let's dive into the world of do-it-yourself home projects. You won't believe the things you can do yourself to save money and learn new skills. Do-it-yourself tip number 1, do-it-yourself magic. Imagine being your own handy person and making your home awesome on a budget. That's the magic of do-it-yourself projects. Not only do they save you money, but they also give you this incredible feeling of achievement. It's like a double win. Do-it-yourself tip number 2, being your own fixer-upper. The cool thing is, you can totally handle basic repairs and maintenance tasks. You know, those leaky faucets, wonky light fixtures, and small drywall patches? You've got this. By learning a few simple skills, you can tackle these issues without needing to call in the pros. It's like building your toolkit of awesomeness. Do-it-yourself tip number 3, personal touch, savings, and style. Ever wanted to make your living space uniquely yours? Do-it-yourself projects are the way to go. You can paint rooms, create custom shelves, and even design your own decor items. It's like adding a splash of your personality to every corner of your home, all while saving some cash. Do-it-yourself tip number 4, a bit of caution. But here's the scoop. Not everything is a do-it-yourself adventure. Some tasks are complex or risky, and they might still need a professional touch. It's all about knowing your limits and making smart choices. Before you dive into any project, take a moment to assess your skills and figure out if it's a do-it-yourself day or a call the pros day. I hope these tips have been helpful and informative. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing. Now go out and save a bunch of money.